Let me give you a context to this passage. She's talking about a term she often uses, reversal of consciousness. Now, many of you might have read it in her writings. So she says the way we are living right now, we are living completely from the ego. There's not one thing in our life which is somewhere or the other not coming from your sense of I. And ego is separation. So you feel you are here and the world is outside, and you're trying to assess the world from the standpoint that you are. But she says reversal of consciousness is when the true consciousness comes forward and you don't feel you're outside everything and seeing it, but you reclaim your true source consciousness which is inside everything. Like the state which Mother and all the great sages constantly lived in. If you went to Mother, she would be inside you. So she would instantly know what you're feeling, what you're thinking, because you weren't an outsider to her consciousness, you were in her consciousness. So she says when this reversal of consciousness happens, you will experience that everything is inside you. Not clear? Not clear? I can be more clear if it's not clear. Adya, not clear? Okay. So we do know, at least theoretically we know that the divine is in everything, right? He's in the floor, he's in everything. Theoretically we also know that we are the divine. So in some part of us, if we are the divine and divine is in everything, we are in everything. But there's a wall between that superconscious self of ours, which is conscious of its cosmic existence, and our surface consciousness. There's a barrier. Just the way you don't know everything that's happening in your subconscious, right? Because it's below your waking band frequencies. So also you don't know what your existence is in the superconscious, which is frequencies above your conscious waking state. Now, when you become conscious in the superconscious, you'll know what you know in the superconscious, which is that you're not just this, that you are everything, that you are in everything, that all is one. And if you are in everything, you're inside everything, you're not observing things from the outside. Clear? At least theoretically. So this is what Mother calls a reversal of consciousness. After that reversal of consciousness, we can't, normally in our current state we are saying I, me, mine, everything is with reference to myself. But once this reversal of consciousness occurs, one will feel foolish to say I. So this is so apparent in the life of Bhagwan Ramana Maharishi. We all know that when he was a very little boy, early teens, he suddenly got curious about death, and he didn't ask a doctor or anyone about it. He said, I'll go into death myself. So he lay down on bed and he held his breath, and he consciously allowed himself to go into death. But he felt that even when the body was dying, who he essentially was so present and so alive. So then he came back to his body, and after that he was convinced that he wasn't this body. He couldn't be this body, because even when this body wasn't there, what he essentially was so alive, so radiant, so beautiful. So after that, he could not refer to himself as I. Finally, when we are talking about Ramana Maharishi, finally when he left his house, so after that he lost interest in studies. He would just be staring into space, and one day his brother mockingly told him, his name was Venkatramanan, Venkatramanan, what's the point of going to school when you don't study, you just keep staring into space. So little Ramana thought, that's true, school will never really give me the truth about anything. So if I want to find the truth, I have to leave. So he wrote a letter saying this. He never called himself I after that. He couldn't. He had experienced this reversal of consciousness in its full glory. So he just left a letter saying this has left home in search of his father. No effort need to be spent looking for this one. So after that he didn't even sign Ramana. He couldn't, because his name was meaningless, and he was a little boy in, maybe 15, 16 years old. So that was a complete reversal of consciousness, when you can no longer at all identify yourself as you.